Hey guys, what's going on? We're back with another Destiny 2 video, and today I wanted to talk about what's going to happen to seasonal content after the final shape comes out. So this is something that I picked up from a Bife video. Future Me is putting the title of that video on the screen, or at least telling you to go click on the link in the description to go watch it. I highly suggest you do before watching this video. It's very insightful, but I'm just going to echo what he's saying because I do think it's really important to emphasize just how upsetting and how very it doesn't make sense for Bungie to be doing this. I mean, they're just digging a hole for themselves that they might not be able to get out of this time. So remember in Lightfall when nothing made sense? The Witness was just here for some reason. We had like stuff like the radial mast, like what even was that, and so on. Lightfall was just horrible in a narrative sense, and it was rushed, and that's why. And I'm not going to beat that dead horse because it was just bad. But once Final Shape comes out, all of the previous year's seasonal content will be gone. That means everything from Season of the Defiance, or Defiance, to now, to Season of the Wish. And really, those two outlying seasons were like, they were okay. You know, Defiance, again, just like Lightfall, made very little sense. And we're just kind of like doing stuff, freeing prisoners for some reason. Like, why were even plain old civilians being taken prisoner in the first place? Like, who cares about Joe Schmo from the tower? Like, if you were to try to take anyone, like, you would think it'd be like Zavala or Ikora or even someone like Banshee or Tess Everest. I would love to see that. Bye. No more Eververse controversy. Just kidding. Love you, Tess. Maybe Fenchurch? Where's he been this whole time? It was really this season's in the middle, kind of like the filling of the sandwich, of the seasonal sandwich, if so to speak. The Season of Defiance was the bread, and Season of the Wish is another slice of bread, and then your Season of the Witch and the Deep, respectively. That's out of order, but you get the point. They're the peanut butter and the jelly. Season of the Deep did the patch-up job that was required after the narrative failure that Lightfall was. And Season of the Witch just had some of the best story beats of any season ever. And Bife says this in his video, and I echo that. I do love the aesthetic of the Awoken, so I might disagree a little bit with his take on the Wish season. But then again, you know, the story is just not as interesting because it's drawn out over such a long time, and that's always been a huge issue with seasonal content, especially when there's a delay involved for various reasons. So, yeah, Season of the Deep has that crucial cutscene, which has been added to the game outside of that, so it's there, but not everyone's going to be like, I should go check out this cutscene if they're returning in the Final Shape, or maybe even after its initial release. So again, nobody's going to know to go look for the Witness's origin cutscene from Season of the Deep because they didn't go through that content. They didn't get to see how Asa interacted with Sloane to show us, essentially, and tell us what the Witness was. And that's true. No one's going to know how Xivu Arath became a much weaker version of herself. And guess what? That's also a problem. And even though Season of the Witch did not carry through on the fact that, yes, Xivu was stripped of her throne world abilities, she's not a true hive anymore. And we didn't get to see kind of the aftermath of how Eris banished her. And, you know, that's definitely the one negative from that season. But, man, seeing Eris in her prime, taking care of business, and essentially us Guardians were Hive as well for, you know, even if it was just for a moment. The point that has to be made here is that the continuity is going to be completely thrown off guard. And I get that sunsetting this content allows for the new seasonal content to thrive. But I definitely think that that's an old way of doing things, and now you can leave this stuff in there. And another thing is the Coil. I love the Coil. I'm a Coil simp, okay? How am I going to farm materials? The Coil is For one, it is a fantastically designed seasonal activity. It's fun, it's challenging, and just about every week it's a different rotation. It's very much like the menagerie, and you get a crap ton of loot. But once this is gone, it's very much going to be like, what are we farming for materials? Unless the seasonal activity that comes out, or I guess episodic activity, whatever it's going to be called, unless that is similar or better than the Coil, then people are going to be very like upset, and you know, it's very much going to go from this high of having a great seasonal activity to having nothing that even compares. And it's very much similar to how the Witch Queen was fantastic and Lightfall was not. And that's why the pre-orders for Final Shape have put Bungie in this position where they need to land every single shot that they're trying to hit with this expansion. And again, this is just something that will make the story worse than it is already. And it's not been good since Season of the Witch. And not to mention, players are not going to be able to experience that season. It's going to be ripped away from them. And the only way you can experience it is through cutscenes. Like, it's like Grimoire cards from D1. You have to go to YouTube and watch the seasonal content. Just like in D1, you had to go to Bungie's website, click on a Grimoire card, and read it to understand the lore. Or, you know, just go watch a Bife video, which is what most people did. So, yeah, it's archaic. And I'm not saying they have to keep the entire season worth of content in the game, but just the main story beats. Even if they just took like 2 or 3 missions and left them in the game so that people could understand what happened, or at least get the gist of it, that'd be great. But as it stands, all of that content will be gone completely. And it really, really sucks to try and recommend this content to people when, you know, they're not gonna fully understand what's going on. So please, Bungie, I hope you're watching, listening, whatever, and you reconsider, or perhaps try to find a way to make it make sense. Even if Bungie put a YouTube video together that was just all of the story you need to know before the final shape, and they plastered it, they advertised the fuck out of it, you know, putting it on your screen before you can even launch the final shape. Like, want to get caught up? Here's a seasonal recap. Go watch it. It's only a 20-minute video before you hop into the final shape. Or they force you to watch it, right? Maybe it's just a 5-minute previously on Destiny 2 video. Something to help returning players or new players understand what the fuck is happening. Anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts are below. Again, Bife started this conversation. I was having this conundrum before. I was like, the Coil is going to be gone, and that's something that I care about maybe more than the story, because, you know, I understand what's going on, and it's a little selfish of me, but definitely for new and returning players, you need something to help them, and that's just, it's not happening right now. So yeah. Anyways, like if you enjoyed the video, comment down below on what your thoughts are. Please do it respectfully. We don't need more controversy. This is just a healthy debate that we're having here. Subscribe if you haven't already. And just as always, know that you being here watching the video is enough for me. And I'll see you in the next one.